All right, everyone, we got a good one on top five tonight. We're doing the top five movies from the 70s.
Welcome to Top 5 with Joey Cassata. Starring Joey Cassata.
Team Jesus, my friend. Am I walking around, Park?
Co-starring Ernie Palooza. And the Doctor, Tommy Snyder.
Goddamn.
Now here's your host, Joey Cassata.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Top Five. I'm your host, Joey Cassata.
And I'm your gap filler. I got gaps, you got gaps. Together we fill gaps.
Oh, you have some gaps, baby, and they were being released at my house last summer. I know it was coming out of those gaps. What's happening, Bernie?
Uh, Nothing.
We're
Finally
back,
back
man.
up.
Pretend I'm a ghost. What do we got here?
Well, this was my Halloween costume for work.
You went all out. What's
Well,
happening, baby? We are back better than ever. We've been on a little hiatus, but we're back, baby. The people demanded it, and we're delivering.
what is hiatus? Is that a real word?
I couldn't even spell it if I tried.
Sound like English.
What's been up in your world, Aaron? What's happening?
Don't know where to begin. I watch TV. I like TV. I like movies.
Speaking of movies, Mr. Ern was at my house last weekend. We watched a wonderful horror movie called
The Vavitch.
Ovovich. Oh, it was really good, actually. I really enjoyed it, Ern. We were
It makes
cuddling. I posted a little picture of us cuddling on the couch. It was marvelous. Ernie brought some beautiful, beautiful Brooklyn Chinese food. We had a great time.
it makes me want to live deliciously.
What a great line, right?
Yep.
So tonight we got a good one tonight. I can't believe we haven't done stuff like this yet, but we're doing, and this is a big, big open book that we could pull from. There's no categories. It's the best movies from the 1970s. Now, the only Ernie rule we got tonight is only one movie from each franchise. So you can't pick, two and three sequels from the same movie line. So only one movie from each franchise. Is that the only rule, Ernie rule tonight, Ern?
That is correct, sir.
All right. So my list is kind of all over the place, but I realized without even knowing it, most of my favorite movies ever are from the 70s, I think.
Absolutely. I've always known that. I mean, for myself as well. I don't mean you.
But
My
I always,
favorite.
for some reason, I always think my favorite stuff is from the 80s, but I don't think it is. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great movies in the 80s, but the 70s, in my brain, I just started rattling off over and over. I mean, even my honorable mentions is a full another list.
70s is the greatest generation, the greatest decade for movies. Music
Oh,
too.
oh yeah, listen, I can't argue with you, Aaron. I can't. Now, there's a couple on here that I wish could have made the list, but I just didn't have the room. But this was hard. This was very hard to narrow down. Was it hard for you?
8, 9, 10, 11. I got 11 honorable mentions.
Well, we're not going to get to all of them, but we'll get to some of them. I could have had at least that many too, right? You could just keep thinking of movies. I know there's a couple. I know a couple on your list, but I think maybe we'll have one duplicate, maybe.
Let me see. I say, counting mine, I say 2.
Okay, you might be right for two. I know the other one. I just didn't know which way you went. Anyway, let's start, Aaron. What do you got? Number five.
I know this ain't on your list. Monty Python's Life of Brian.
Definitely not.
A lot of people want to go with Holy Grail, but this is my favorite Monty Python movie, and this is one of the funniest movies I ever seen. And it's so sacrilegiously funny, which because it's all about Jesus. Brian is the person that was born in the stable next to Jesus, and it's about his
Is
life.
Oh, I didn't know that's what it's about.
Oh, even the first scene when he's born, and the three wise men accidentally go into his thing and give his mother the gifts, and then they come back in and they take the gifts away to realize it's next
Oh,
door. They ripped them out of her hands.
I mean,
It's
the premise sounds hysterical. I can't get into that slapstick type comedy. I just can't get into it.
there's a great scene with the a leper that he's now cured. So he's jumping around like a ballet. He can't stop himself. He's just like crazy jumping around. He's never used his legs before. And he's complaining that Jesus has taken away his only source of income.
What was first, that or Holy Grail?
Holy Grail was first.
What year is Life of Brian?
79.
Yeah, listen, I listen. I get it. I understand why people like them. I just can't get into that stuff. I never liked Holy Grail. Never really liked the airplane movies. Never liked that type of stuff. I don't know why.
There's a scene where Brian and his family had got are at the Beatitudes when Jesus is speaking, but they got bad seats, so that they can't really hear what he's saying.
Right.
Saying, I think he said, "Blessed are the cheesemakers." One of them says, and then his friend who's like real smart goes, "Oh, it's more symbolic. It's not just cheesemakers, but all makers of dairy products." He's trying to explain.
That's no good for you.
Oh, it's so funny though. Jesus,
Well,
Jesus is on the cross at the end of the movie, and him and the two guys next to him are on the cross hanging, singing. Always look at the bright side of your life. That's how to.
that's the end.
Yeah, that's how it ends.
Well, it's funny you went with a comedy for number five. So did I. This comedy I could not leave off the list. So many other things creeped into the number five slot for me, but I just had to get this in the list. I think it's also 1979.
78
You know the movie I'm talking about already?
when the Germans attacked Pearl Harbor.
Oh, yes. We're talking about Animal House. It is 78, Ern?
Yeah,
God, it's I don't know if it's my favorite comedy, but it's up there. It's such an incredible movie. There's so many quotable lines. My friends and I growing up, this was everything. You know, the scene where Belushi blows out the zit, and I just read somewhere that was all improv. That wasn't in the script. So when he did that, they didn't know he was going to do that. So the reaction I think was real when he kind of does the eyebrows and he runs. Um, just the scene where Belushi's on the ladder trying to spy on the girls. There's so many great things in that movie where um, they tell Bluto, the principal is reading out the grades are, and you'd love that. You love that part when all their GPAs are all 0.0.
Belushi goes has no great average. All classes are complete.
He tells him fat, drunk, and stupid is nowhere to go through life, son.
I prove.
Believe it or
I
not,
prove.
I don't
I
actually
prove.
don't love the end of that movie. I mean, the end is fun, but I actually think it gets a little too off kilter there. But the whole movie is just incredible. Where Belushi smashes the guitar, and there's so many incredible scenes. I don't even know where to start.
And Belushi after he spreads go. Sorry, it's like an accident.
They drop the girl off at the front door, drunk with the in the shopping cart. I mean, I think we've done that to people before. Um, it's just the character development in that movie so quickly. You know every character, you know their characteristics, you know where they're going. It's just nonstop hilarity, the whole movie.
Classic.
All
Kevin
right,
Bacon's.
what? Kevin Bacon, is that his first movie?
So yeah,
Wow. He gets run over at the end, right? He's like this.
yeah.
All right, Aaron, what do you got? Number four.
Number four, I believe we both have this one. The Exorcist.
It's on my honorable mentions. It did not make my list.
Oh, it's I mean, how many times have we watched it, and then after 30 times we actually started studying the movie more than watching it.
It's one of those movies that you see new things every time you watch it.
Hey, Alexa, stop.
Which was released on
Hey,
October
Alexa,
14th.
stop. I guess the title of this movie sounds too much like the name.
What, The Exorcist? Alexa? That doesn't sound anything like it. Alexa, play.
It doesn't
What
work.
do you want me to play?
Oh man, Alexa, stop.
No, Alexis. You're calling her the wrong name. That's why she doesn't work for you. You idiot.
Oh boy, oh, great. But come on, it's a
Alexa, Alexa, how cool is Joey Cassata?
From
good.
Facts.net. Joey, known for his distinctive Brooklyn accent and passionate dueling skills, has captured the hearts of fans around the world with his relentless determination and unwavering loyalty to his friends.
Did that just happen?
That's what I like. See that? I love that. Was that your wife or Alexa? Hold on.
I can't believe that. Now you've really made it.
Oh, we could not plan that any better. How was that? Oh my God. Go
Half
ahead.
an hour. Let's go. Half an hour.
Exorcist. Go. Exorcist.
Yeah. Was for a while for a long time I considered the scariest movie I ever seen for years, and it's still one of the scariest movies ever. And
Sure.
it's more than just a horror movie where it's a great story. The acting's incredible. The I almost said Reagan. Linda Blair is incredible as Reagan. The mother's great. Great stuff.
It's a perfect movie. There's nothing wrong with that movie. Nothing that I would say, oh, I wish this, I wish that. It's perfect. The build up, it's not one of those horror movies that's just horror right away. It's that slow build. We said this the other night, even watching the Vavitch. The Vavitch felt like a 70s horror movie. And just they did it different in the 70s. There was no, once the Nightmare on Elm Streets came out and all the Jasons, the Friday the 13th started to go crazy, they all became the same thing. More like those slasher movies where the 70s were, you didn't need any gore, you didn't need any big horror scenes, you just needed great storytelling, and that's what I loved.
In The Exorcist, I always imagine. I don't know why I think this, but I would love the line, like maybe the priest says this to the mother. I find your lack of faith disturbing. It would, it fits somehow.
We'll talk about that later. All right. My number four, definitely polar opposites of The Exorcist. We're talking about one word, and Ernie, Grease is the word.
Oh, wonderful.
It's
Great.
God. I almost wished I could get this higher on my list because it really is. It's my favorite musical of all time. Um, Again, one of those perfect movies. It's everything about it. The characters are so great. The music is. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, soundtrack of all time. Travolta's great. Olivia Newton-John is great. All the other side characters are classic. It's just one of those timeless movies. Anytime it's on the television, if I flip the channel and Grease is on, not only do I have to keep watching it, I can recite every single word of everyone's dialogue.
Hickey from Kanicki.
It's like a Hallmark card. I care to send the very best. Come on, Aaron. What do you got? Number three.
Godfather Part 2.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm in a minority here, I think, but I actually prefer Part 2 over Part 1. Although I consider it all one long movie, really, but Part 2 is just more epic to me. It's just a bigger world somehow.
Yeah, I almost think you're not in the minority. I think most people talk about Godfather 2 higher than Godfather 1 at this point. I think people just forget how incredible Godfather 1 was, but because Godfather 2 was so spectacular, they're like, "Oh my God, how could this movie be so great?" The De Niro parts are great and obviously Pacino, all that stuff is great too, but I don't know if you can top Godfather 1. I don't know. What makes 2 better for you?
Well, 2 is two movies in one. First, it's a prequel and a sequel,
Sure.
and both stories are compelling. But I really like the afterwards, the sequel part.
Yeah.
The whole when she admits she had an abortion scene, just the look in his
Oh,
face. It's very similar to my number one, which is coming later. There's a very similar scene in my number one where the person's look, it looks like I've never seen somebody kill somebody in real life, but I imagine this is what they would look like. And I'm happy I haven't. I don't want to. Of
I
course.
know the movie you're referring to, and we'll talk about it later. And it didn't go on my list because I knew it was going to be your number one. But you know, your number three is going to lead right into my number three. Your number three is Godfather 2. My number three is Godfather 1.
It worked out
It's
well.
it's just to me, as great as Godfather 2 is, one is just a little bit more epic. Every scene is so memorable. And I think the biggest, the two biggest differences, I mean, really the main biggest difference, the Sonny character. James Caan is so compelling in that movie that, and I know De Niro's incredible in Godfather 2, but Godfather 1 is so much more about family and relationships and all that stuff. Godfather 2 is deeper. It's like more the inner workings of the mafia, the sequel part with Michael going to Vegas and all that stuff with Fredo. And, obviously, um, I just feel like one is it's just a deeper movie as far as family, and you really care about those characters in one. Not that you don't in two, but it's stupid to say, obviously you can't have two without one. Two only works because one was so incredible. You can build off of it. One, it's just learning those characters the first time in one is just so compelling to me, and you love and hate almost all those characters.
You remember in The Sopranos what they call the movie The Godfather one?
What?
One.
That's what they did. I don't remember.
If you remember in one. They never say they just say the Godfather.
That's incredible. So
You
that
know,
worked out good. So you had two and I had one. Nice.
if I had any knowledge of technology, I would love to do the baptism scene from The Godfather and splice in um the Order 66 from Return of the Sith. This that would be hysterical somehow.
It works. Yeah. Yeah, all those plot lines, they were similar. You got the bad guy, plotting to kill all the people, but he's not going to get his hands dirty. Yeah, it works. All right, and what do you got? Number two.
Number two, another Pacino movie, Dog Day Afternoon.
Ooh, I didn't know this was going to make your list, but I love it, obviously.
One of my favorites. It's even my kid's favorite now.
Really?
Um, Brian is crazy about this movie. The first half is almost slapstick comedy. The first half is just hysterical. Before in the second half it becomes a very serious movie. But it's some of the
The
funniest
first
stuff
half when they're in the bank already or before the bank?
when it just starts. When
Yeah.
they just start in the bank.
Yeah, yeah.
God, it's so damn funny. There's a scene where he can't get the gun out of the gift box, and he's fighting the box at one
Yes.
time. Oh, and then they pull their guns out, and one of them says, "I'm not going to make it." He goes,
Again,
and he
Fredo and Michael.
he has to give Pacino the gun back, and he leaves, and he almost leaves at the car. Pacino, wait a minute, leave the
We
keys.
need that.
And the guy goes, "How am I going to get home?"
What year's Dog Day?
75,
Godfather 1 is,
74.
and when's Godfather 2?
Oh no, Godfather 2, 74. Godfather 1 is 70. Godfather 1 is 72. Godfather 2 is 74.
Very, who directed Dog Day?
Sidney
Is it
Lumet.
mistake casting both of them in that movie? Not Pacino, obviously, but I don't remember Fredo's the actor's name.
John
I think it's a
Cazale.
I think it's a mistake. Why cast him in that movie?
John
They're both,
Cazale,
yeah.
percentage-wise, is the greatest actor of all time.
Oh, stop it. I know the movies, of course. But what I'm saying is they're coming off two of the biggest movies of all time. You're already kind of typecast because you're Michael Corleone, right? Putting them both on camera together, it was a risk. Don't get me wrong, it works. Because 2 minutes into the movie, I'm not even thinking of The Godfather or either one of those characters. But it was a risk, right?
Yeah, it's like, didn't you just kill that guy?
But that's what I mean. They have all the actors that they could choose from. Why did they take him?
Maybe they were best buds.
Maybe you're right. Maybe to get Pacino, they needed to take him. Who the hell knows? You're right.
Actually
Great movie.
turned the movie down until he heard that his nemesis, Dustin Hoffman, was signing to it. And then Pacino said, "You know something? I want it."
Oh, I didn't know. What? So it was offered to both of them.
It was offered to Pacino. Pacino said he was too tired after Godfather 2. So they were going to offer it to Hoffman, which Pacino considered his nemesis or something. And then he
Wow,
said, "Never mind, I'll take it."
I didn't know that. That's crazy. So here's the question: was Fredo already signed on?
I don't know. I gotta look that up. No idea.
So I got to tell you, and I think leading into my number two, we're not even going to have one movie the same. Never mind two.
And I thought, well, we got
You thought it
Godfather.
was gonna you thought it was gonna be Exorcist and Godfather 2? Godfather's not the same. I picked Godfather 1.
I thought Exorcist was going to be on your list.
My number two, again, not really a hard choice, but I gotta go Empire Strikes Back. Oh, I can't. It's 1980. You
You
know
knew
what?
that.
You're right. Then I'm gonna go. I gotta go Star Wars, the first Star Wars, of course. Um, Empire's the better movie. I think it is, but
You know it
again,
is.
yeah, it is. It's just a better movie. But it's one of those things. You still have to have Star Wars. You can't just start with Empire. Or, a lot of times sequels do that because the first movie is so much character development. It takes away from plot lines and twists and turns. You got to develop these characters first. So the first Star Wars, even watching it now, like my kids are not that much into the first three Star Wars, believe it or not, because on today's scale, they're slow. They're slow moving, especially if you watch the first Star Wars, it's pretty slow. I love it, but it's because of all that character development, scenery development, world development. It's you're having to develop that whole universe before you can really dive in to see what's going on with these people. Obviously, Vader's Vader. He's the big bad guy in the first scene. You know that. It takes 2 seconds to understand that. He basically chokes the guy and kidnaps the princess, right? You know it's the bad guy. But developing the universe takes a little time and it's slow moving. But I gotta have Star Wars on my list, of course.
I'm not arguing with you. I saw Star Wars in the movies 9 times when it came out.
I mean, I saw the first Star Wars when it got re-released, but I never saw the first one when it was first released. I was only 3.
I was 7 and then 8 because I stayed in the movies, and I
Perfect.
saw it 9 times. And I was too young to go to the movies myself, so my parents had to hate me around that time
Oh
period.
my God. Wow.
How else can you see a movie except going to the
Yeah,
movies?
of course. All right, Ern, we are up to your number one. Let me recap. We got number 5, Life of Brian. Number 4, The Exorcist. Number 3, Godfather 2. Number 2, Dog Day Afternoon. And your number 1 movie from the 1970s is, I know it.
My favorite movie of all time, of course, it's Cuckoo's Nest.
I know it.
Like
And
it's
that
still
scene is when Jack looks at Nurse Ratched or what?
it starts choking her. Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
right before he starts choking her, he looks the way I imagine somebody that's going to murder somebody looks like. Once again, I've never seen it in real life, thank God. But That's what I imagine it would look like. Yeah.
The amazing thing about that movie, right before he almost chokes her to death, the viewer I want to choke her to death.
Well, she's such a great bad guy. She's
One of the best villains ever.
absolutely just
Because
incredible.
she's so real. That I know that person. I encounter that person every day in life, and she's everywhere.
Well, that's frightening.
She is. That type of person is everywhere. Just no regard for human life at all, and just is going to do her thing. Oh, and
First,
she doesn't give them the World Series. Oh my God.
first Danny DeVito movie ever. First Christopher Lloyd movie ever.
What's some of the quotes we love from that movie, Ern?
Oh,
Oh,
uh,
Mancini is so good in that movie.
I'll
Jeez.
bet a dime. I'll bet a nickel when he breaks the cigarette in half. And then he starts trying to DeVito starts trying to explain Nicholson that he's still in the blackjack, and he's counting the Q for the queen as a 1 and a 2. He goes, "This is a queen. You don't count the this and the this."
Oh, God, what a great movie. It's
And
really, what
then
year is that, Ern?
75, and DeVito keeps saying, "Hit me," and Nicholson says, "Wait, it's not your turn. You see these?
Yeah.
These are the real guys. These are the real ones, not the ones in your head."
Can you imagine being in the mental ward like that and trying to be with these people? It's, oh God. Jack is incredible in that movie. What's his movie right before that and right after that?
His movie right before that had some honorable mentions. Chinatown.
Yeah, I thought that might have been on your list. And what's right after? Shining?
I think he did something called Going South, some comedy, maybe with
Okay.
George Burns. Even I think
Oh,
was.
wow. Okay. Great pick.
Thank you.
Up to my
I
number one.
I know you're number one, just like you know my number one.
Let me recap. We got number 5, Animal House. Number 4, Grease is the word, baby. Number 3, Godfather 1. Number 2, Star Wars. Number 1, my friend and yours, Mr. Rocky Balboa.
Take her to the zoo.
How many times have we repeated that line? Oh my God. It's incredible. But that's 2, right?
No, that's one.
Is it 1?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
the
that's the first date. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
mafia guy's bodyguard,
Yeah,
the
of
driver.
course. Yeah, when
He goes,
he's peeking in the window. Take it to the zoo.
Rocky goes, I should take you to the zoo.
I mean, again, it's the perfect movie. It's
Rocky One is incredible movie. Incredible
incredible.
movie.
It's
Yeah,
it's
wanted
perfect.
to put
It's
it on I wanted to put it on my list, but I knew it was your number one, and you know me, I like to push.
no, and honestly, Cuckoo's Nest probably makes my list too, and I don't do it because I know it's your number one. But
Rocky.
Rocky's my favorite. Same with yours. It's funny. Cuckoo's Nest, favorite movie from the 70's, also favorite movie of all time. Rocky, favorite movie from the 70's, favorite movie of all time.
Rocky One, and this is why Rocky One in my head is so much better than the other Rocky movies. Rocky One is hysterical. It's
Oh,
got
yeah, I agree.
packed with so many great lines.
I mean, him and Adrian, they're acting together in that movie. I mean, obviously the boxing stuff we know is incredible, but the relationship between him and Adrian and him and Mickey are off the charts, acting wise, incredible. Everything about those scenes, it's captivating. Their dialogue, how they deliver their dialogue, how they're interacting, their pauses, their emotion, just their facial expressions. The acting in that movie is so underrated. Nobody ever talks about Stallone's acting in that movie as, being so great, but he absolutely destroys that movie just with his acting.
Why don't you come over here? There's big bugs over there. It's safer over here.
I mean, you could feel the tension when he brings her back to the apartment. It's so awkward. It's so, and it's real. It feels real.
There's a line in Rocky that I don't know if it hit me the first 10 times saw it, but I think about it a lot. Is when he tells the boxing promoter that the poster is wrong.
Yeah.
Goes, what do you mean, Rock? Goes, the poster has is red with white stripes. I'm wearing white with red stripes. And the promoter goes, it doesn't really matter, does it, Rock? And I think what he's saying is that by the end, it's going to be all red, isn't it? I think that's what the promoter's saying.
Yeah. I mean, I always thought of it more as it doesn't matter, Rock, because nobody's going to remember you tomorrow anyway. But it probably was more what you're thinking.
I think my interpretation is a little more twisted somehow.
Definitely a little twisted and a little scary. All right, let's go. We got a few minutes left. Let's go. Let's grab some honorable mentions. Ern, give me your first three, and I'll do three.
Okay. Uh, I didn't put them in order, so but anyway, Marathon Man,
Oh, is it safe? Oh, it's so safe you wouldn't believe.
Midnight Express.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking for movies that wasn't mentioned. Uh, uh Suspiria.
Ooh, I forgot about that one. I gotta tell you, I don't remember a lot of it. You showed me that one, but I don't remember a lot of it. I'd like to revisit that.
I like that.
My three, I gotta go Superman 1, the perfect, still probably the best superhero movie of all time. Just you don't need the effects, you don't need all that stuff. Character development and acting. That's what movies is.
Oh wait,
Saturday
Joe.
night. Go ahead,
Hold on, man. Do you recognize me?
Ernie. Where'd you go?
I'm right here.
Oh, Bernie. Hello.
Who
You
was
do
that
look.
guy?
You
Somebody
do look
else?
extra. Alexa, is Ernie more handsome with or without his glasses?
Not good. She's sleeping.
Who the hell's Ernie? Saturday Night Fever.
Oh,
Again, everyone thinks of Saturday Night Fever because of the music. Of course, one of the greatest soundtracks of all time. But God, what a movie! Taking place basically in our neighborhood in Brooklyn. It's you know these guys. You feel like you know them. It's a very deep movie. People think of it as a dancing, goofy disco movie, but it's not. And my other comedy, one of my favorites of all time, Smokey and the Bandit.
oh, I thought you were going to say something else, but yeah, I thought you were going to
Would
go
you?
with Slapshot.
Oh God, you know what? I forgot about it. What a God, Slapshot is so good. Uh, owns. Oh God, what a movie.
I don't even like sports, but I like those three. The three guys with
Oh,
glasses.
the handsome. They
Yeah.
brought their fucking toys. God, they're so good. They're beating up the vending machine. Oh, what a great movie. Give me one or two more, and then we're out of here.
Dawn of the Dead
Yeah, I don't love it, but I get it.
and The Wicker Man.
Yeah, Wicker Man's good. No, I wouldn't have that anywhere near these other movies that's on our lists, but Wicker Man is pretty damn good. You got Wicker Man over Shining, Ern?
Shining is 1980, so I couldn't go with it.
Oh, I thought it was 77 for some reason.
Another movie
Nice.
I wanted to go with, but I couldn't because it didn't make the year period is Planet of the Apes,
Was 69?
68. But
68. God, what a movie.
that would be on my list if it came
Yeah, I
out.
don't know if it would make this list. That it wouldn't make the top five. Probably wouldn't even make my honorable mentions, but it's all-time classic.
It's got great lines in it. Really, that's
Oh my God, of course. Ern, great episode. Love God. I can't again, I say it all the time. Every week we do these. Why I love doing these, diving into things you don't think about for a while, diving into some of these 70s movies. It's what a decade. And I know people think of, oh, 70s wasn't that good. There wasn't a lot because the effects weren't there yet, because the technology wasn't there yet, and these big budgets and all that stuff. That's what made the 70s movies, I think, so incredible because they had to dive more into script, more into character development. Not that there's not great stuff in the 80s with the big bombastic effects and stuff, but when you don't you can't rely on them. It's just a different quality product.
Should have put Jaws on a list too, actually. Now I think about
Yeah,
it.
George, believe it or not, didn't make mine either, but
Just hit me.
another perfect movie. There's too many to choose from.
70s were great. The best.
Great stuff, Ern. Well, we're back. This was fun. Hopefully we're back on schedule now. Check us out at Top 5 with Joey Cassata at
Number five.
gmail.com. Oh, that's the number 5. That's the number 5.
It's the number five.
Send us your emails. Give us some topics. Let us know what your top 5 movies of the 70s are. Ern, I want to do a contest coming up. We got the new Raise Your Glasses Kiss book that I just released. I also have the deluxe hardcover of Start with the Dream on its way. It's going to be released, I believe, December 1st, just in time for the holidays, Ern. There's lots of good stuff, maybe some extra pictures of you in there. So you got to buy a couple copies for the family. Check it out. Again, email us at top 5 with Joey Cassata at gmail.com. Send us your picks. Let us know what you thought of our episode. Our merch is on Amazon. Check it out on Amazon.com. Just type in Joey Cassata. All the top 5 merch is there. Ernie shirts, Joey shirts, the doctor shirts, top 5 logo shirts. Check it all out. I'll be at Kiss Cancer Goodbye December 6th through the 8th, performing Creatures of the Night, All of the Elder, All of Alive 2, doing some crazy stuff with some great musicians for a great cause to fight cancer. If you haven't bought tickets yet, go to creaturesfest.com. You can get tickets, and it's in Sarasota, Florida. Check us out. If not, just follow me on social media. Check out Ernie. We will be back next time.